Hello, beautiful unicorn, performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. And it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison you find yourself in and build a life and a business and a career that you are obsessed with. On Thursdays, most of you already know that I go live in this group with the Get Your Shit Together weekly live guidance with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where the purpose of today's podcast and the video is to literally help you get your shit together. To figure out what's up, what's down, what's to the right of you, what's to the left of you, so you feel clear on where you currently are and what your options, what your choices are going forward, moving forward. Now, today's topic is how to improve your intimate relationships. When it comes to intimate relationships, for the purpose of today, so let's first start off with what is considered to be an intimate relationship. An intimate relationship is a deep, close, and personal connection between two people that goes beyond the surface level stuff. It goes beyond the surface level interaction. It involves emotional closeness, trust, mutual respect, and a shit ton of something that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, which is vulnerability. It involves you being open and honest and opening up. In an intimate relationship, both people feel safe to express their true self, where they can actually truly be themselves. They share their thoughts, they share their feelings and experiences, and provide support to one another. It's a different form of a partnership. Which also, the thought that comes to mind is there's a lot of people who are married and they want to have an intimate relationship with their partner, but they actually do not have an intimate relationship with their partner. As from what I've just said, a lot of women especially, and men are guilty of this as well, they don't fully open up. They don't speak the truth. They don't say what's on their heart. They don't feel very safe expressing themselves. And intimacy can be emotional and physical and or both, and it often includes affection, love, and strong bond that grows over time through the shared experiences of open communication. So today, my goal with this video is to help you improve these intimate relationships. So recognize the relationships that you have that are considered to be intimate, and they're not necessarily with the people that you're married to. Many of these intimate relationships that you have are with your best friends, with people that you can truly fully be yourself. And in many of your cases, it is with friends. And you want to have it in your relationship, in your marriage, or with your life partner, but you're not there yet, and you don't know how to get there. You don't know how to have that relationship, of that intimate relationship with your partner. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's not. Just like with those intimate relationships that you have with your friends, you did not get there overnight. It took time. And this is the other part of of intimacy and why some of you might actually start to recognize that you don't have any intimate relationships with people. Because in your past, when you were open and honest and vulnerable with people that made you feel safe, that down the road, they used all of those things, or a lot of those things that you were open and honest and vulnerable about, and you confided in them, they used it against you. And in ways that made you feel really, really hurt and unsafe. So you learned how to not trust people, how to keep yourself safe and protected from anything like that happening in the future. And as great of a skill that is, you can also probably imagine how isolating and how lonely this can feel. And this does feel. That's why it's important for all of us to have intimate relationships. If you have a life partner, someone who you have chosen and they have chosen to build a life with you, and they are not what you would consider an intimate relationship, it can become that way. But it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes time and it takes practice, something that both of you must choose to get better at. And if this is something that both of you choose, then you can definitely build an amazing life together. So today I want to share and talk about some things that you can do that will help to improve these intimate relationships. Now, you can apply it into your friendships. You can apply it into your marriage or partnership, whatever your living situation is. You get to choose where you want to apply it. You can apply it in all, quite honestly. But the first thing I want to start off with saying is, good morning, Rebecca. And Rebecca said good morning. So good morning, Rebecca. So the first thing I do actually want, the second thing that, since that was the first, the second thing that I want to say to you all is that the key to improving and making any relationship, whether it's intimate or not intimate, a better one is to start working on yourself. That's going to be the key to change in anything that you want to change in your outside life. You got to work on yourself. You quite literally got to figure your own shit out and you got to get it together. I like the approach of decluttering and organizing. And how do you declutter and organize a space? Okay? How do you do that? Some of you know, and the rest of you don't. The way that you declutter and organize a space is by making a lot of mess. You quite literally take every single thing off the shelves, off the counters, from behind closed doors, from the drawers. You take everything out and you lay it all out. Really messy, right? And then when you step back, you're going to feel like there's a lot of stuff here and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know where to start. It just feels a lot. That's how it's supposed to feel. Especially when you're just starting off. When you just begin to learn how to declutter and organize, whether it's a physical space or a mental space. You gotta get it all out. Now, one of the crucial parts of decluttering and organizing is having a support system, because it's really, really, really hard to do it alone, to do it on your own. So, when you are decluttering and organizing a physical space, it will be helpful to have someone there. even just as moral support. Or maybe you've learned and now you're applying what you've learned, but it does help to have someone there as moral support. They don't necessarily have to be physically there, but someone that you can go back to and say, this is what I did, this is how I did it, this is how I feel now, or this was my block, this was my struggle, this is how it made me feel, and I just couldn't handle my emotions because it just felt like I was climbing and hiking up Mount Everest and I just couldn't do it. So I left it all there and I went back a week later when I was finally ready to deal with it. The same concept applies when you have all that emotional, all that internal shit that you need to see what you have before you can start decluttering it, before you can start organizing it and putting it neatly into this part of you, into this part of you, into this part of you, this part of you that makes up your whole entire life. And when it comes to intimate relationships, they can be, and they're meant to be, part of your support fortress. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket. Meaning, if you just have one person to go to that you consider to be intimate relationship, what happens when that person is gone? What happens when that person, for whatever reason, is no longer around? Whether it's by choice or not by choice, whether it's their choice or not their choice, or maybe it's your choice. What happens? Who do you go to then? That's why it's important to have a fortress as a support. Different people to go to. If you are, let's say you're battling with, you want to improve your intimate relationship, right? You're going to have someone who can help you in that department. Let's say you want to improve your physical health. You're going to go to someone who can help you in that department. Let's say it's mental health. You're going to go to that person. Let's say you just want to get things off your chest and just have a bitch session. You're going to go to that person that's going to chime in and help you in this bitching session, so to speak. It's important to have different people in different parts of your life. And then also have a safe place at home. So, when it comes to anything you want to improve, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, whatever it is that you want to improve in your life, whatever externally you also want to improve, whether it's a relationship with your boss, with your coworkers, with strangers, or how you perceive strangers, or how you interact in the world, or how you feel when you go out in public, and then how you feel when you get back when you're out in public. You know, that feels like you went out there and you just picked up everybody's baggage and you came home and now you're feeling so heavy. Whatever it is that you want to improve in the external world starts in here, starts within you. Most people, and when I say most, I actually mean most people in the entire world, they have their head and their heart disconnected. They are not connected with themselves, with their true self. They don't even know who they are. That's where you start. You want to improve your intimate relationship? Start with knowing who you are. Start with understanding who you are. And there's a lot to unveil, a lot to uncover when it comes to who you are and who you are being and who you desire and strive towards becoming. And then figuring out how they're all connected and how you're going to get from one to another to another. So, in your love life, in your intimate relationship, in your love life, and let's say perhaps your relationship right now is not an intimate one, but you want it to be intimate. How do you get to that point. Number one, I already mentioned. And for all of these relationships, for all the things that I'm going to suggest and recommend and will continue, is you got to start with number one, and number one is you, which means work on yourself. If you don't know where to start, I'll take this opportunity to invite you to the Imposter Banishing Quest that is starting on Monday. And that is really going to be a powerful way to go within to understand who you are. So you no longer feel like an imposter. And you know who you are, and you can step into your true authentic self comfortably, authentically, and unapologetically. And that is how you will improve not just your intimate relationships, but every single thing that makes up your life. You will naturally start to see an improvement in every area of your life. You want to start small? 21-day challenge is another one I would recommend for everyone to do. And even those of you who are going through the Imposter Banishing Quest or will be going through it, definitely recommend 21-day challenge, because they are connected. They are like stepping stones for one another. They're not identical. They're different, as they're meant to be, and they're going to be amazing. Definitely recommend. So let's say you want to improve your marriage, your love life, your relationship, your love relationship, and you wanted to make it an intimate one. This is how and it's going to be up to you. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do or how to do it, but because I want you to do the homework. And then when you're doing the homework, you will not only prove to yourself, but you also prove to me how much you actually want to improve these relationships. So, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to take a piece of paper out with pen or pencil, whichever way you want it. And I want you to start writing down all the ideas that come to mind as you visualize and pretend that you are now back in time when you just met this person that you're with, your relationship, and you are thinking of all these different ways, all these different ideas of how you can show them that you love them, how you can tend to their needs and wants, how you can take care of them, how you're going to serenade them, how you're going to prove to them that you are the very person that they're meant to be with and meant to build their life with for the rest of their life. How are you going to do that? Make a list. Get very creative of the things that you could do, that you would do. I would actually love to see that list as well. You want to share a picture down below in the comments, or you want to write these things down below in the comments, please share them with all of us. We can all learn from one another and get ideas and share ideas from one another, because the things that you have in your mind are golden. They're amazing. And a lot of those things I wouldn't even think of. The next person wouldn't even think of. The next person wouldn't even think of. So by sharing these ideas, we become the mastermind, and we share our minds, and we learn from one another. Now that you have that list and you have these amazing, incredible ideas, I want you to start going down that list and using it as a guide for you in your relationships. Hey Kitty, how are you doing? Beautiful. Happy Thursday to you as well. Kitty says, I missed what list we are talking about. The idea list. So the idea list is this. I also encourage you to watch the beginning, because you'll hear other things as well that will be helpful, understanding what is involved in an intimate relationship and how to go about it and improving them. But the list is about you going back in time and pretending and visualizing that you are with the person that you have a love relationship with, and you want to improve the intimacy, and you want to have an amazing relationship with this person, whatever the situation is, right? And you would go back in time and visualize as if you have just met this person, also keeping in mind everything that you know about this person now, because you know a lot more about them now than you did back then. So, and this is where the magic really happens. Start making a list of all the things that you could do, that you would want to do to show that person, to express to that person how much you care and love them, to show them that you are the right person for them, and take care of them through taking care of their needs, wants, desires, in a way of like serenading them as well, to show them that you are the right person to build a life with. That's essentially the list. And this list can, at this point, thinking back, if you didn't know what you know now, that list would be maybe this long. Maybe there would be 5 or 10 things on there. But now that you know this person, how long can that list be? It can be really long. Now, that is your magic list. Use that list to build and continue building a relationship, a love relationship, into an intimate one with that person that you want to build life with, that you want to do life with. You can share this with them as well. Have them make that list. Have them add to that list. Ask them. Have a conversation. Have them say what they would love for you to do for them. Some things you know, and some things you might be like, oh, I never knew you wanted that. One example is I love hugs, but not just from everyone. I actually only love hugs from the people that I live with here. So from my husband and our kids. That's it. From anyone else, I'm like, I'm okay. Like, just, a quick hug. Hi, bye, and that's it. But from my family, I love long hugs. You see, if I'm upset, or I'm annoyed, or if I'm irritated, or if I'm feeling too much, or if I'm quiet, give me a hug. Give me a really long ass hug. Let's go cuddle on the couch again. Now, cuddling, by the way, some of you ladies already know this, that for men, it might mean it leads into something else. But for us, we just want to cuddle. So it doesn't lead into anything else. And it's important to communicate that part as well. They need to know and understand us. But for some of you, that might be your sign. When I say cuddle, I mean something else. Exchange that vocabulary with one another so you know what he's saying and he knows what you're saying. So there's nothing lost in translation. Kitty says, okay, this what I need today for class today, like you could read my mind. Oh, thank you. I feel like this is something that, this is one of the things I help women with, even though I don't talk about it all the time, but because this is a coaching relationship, by the way, is a very intimate relationship. So I know some of you that work with me, you know that we have an intimate relationship. And some of us that had worked together, we still continue to have an intimate relationship. So a coaching relationship is an intimate relationship. A relationship that you have with your therapist often is an intimate relationship as well. So this is something that all of us need. Why? It's because all of us have someone that we love and care about, and we want to have or want to build and create that relationship into the most intimate relationship we possibly could. That no matter what we're going through, no matter what we're dealing with, even and especially when it involves that very person that we love, that they did or said something that upset us, instead of moping around and carrying it around for days and trying to work through it and dealing with it and trying to forgive and forget and let go, what if you could simply have an open and honest and a safe conversation with your life partner that you're doing a life sentence with? That you can just have a conversation that doesn't turn into anything negative, but turns into an amazing positive outcome. That you, not only are you learning from one another continuously, that then you do what you learn from that conversation and you're actually doing it and applying it, and you see your relationship flourish. And those are the things that you can add to that list. Your partner mentions to you that, let's say, they are sensitive to loud noises. As an ideal partner, your job is to make sure that there are no loud noises. If they mention that they don't like mess and clutter, your job as a partner is to make sure that their needs, their wants, and their desires are being met. That also means that they gotta do the same thing. But if they're not doing that, a conversation needs to take place where both parties feel comfortable and safe, which means for the lack of words, is you gotta put your shit to the side sometimes. Your feelings and emotions, you gotta put them to the side and hear the other person. And then give them the space and the time to work through it, and you expect them to do the same. Where you can just have a conversation without those feelings and emotions and express yourself, even though you're saying, when you did this, I felt this way. When you said that, I felt this way. Without saying, you did that and you're so bad and I want you to change that. That's not how a healthy conversation and communication is going to go. So let's quickly go through a few other different things that you can do to improve your intimate relationship. Emotional vulnerability. Share your innermost feelings, fears, worries, desires with your partner. Open up. Be an open book. One of the things I hear is that the fear that a lot of women carry is that, and I'll say it in this way, how I have heard it numerous times. I'm scared that if he truly knows who I am, what I'm scared of, what I'm worried about, what I'm stressed about, that he will think that I'm crazy or that there's something wrong with me and that he will leave me for someone who is much easier to deal with because they don't have these fears, worries, or stressors. Now, how realistic is that? To think that there are humans who don't have fears, worries, and stressors that are similar, if not identical, to yours and to mine. It's very unrealistic because every single human being has them. Every single being has these fears, these worries, these stressors that you do. Granted, they might have different stories that they carry around these fears, worries, and stressors, but at their core, at their root, they're the same. Everybody is scared to be left alone, to feel abandoned, to feel unwanted, unloved, ununderstood or misunderstood, unsupported, unvalidated, just to name a few. Everybody, every single person, which means that when you start opening up and being vulnerable with your partner and starting or continuing to build this intimate relationship, they will see themselves through your eyes. Some might openly tell you, I have the same fears and worries. Do you know how validating that feels, that can feel, that will feel? How safe and free you will feel when maybe for the first time in your life, you finally feel like you're not crazy. Now, if your partner tells you, oh, you're crazy, you're insane, and then they start to belittle you, pay attention to those red flags. Pay attention to them. This might not be the first time that those red flags came up. You want to make sure that you're building an intimate relationship with the right people, and that you're not opening up, giving your heart on a silver platter to someone who's just going to use all those things to later on, in different ways, shapes, and forms, abuse you. So pay attention to the red flags. Practice, I'll call it intentional listening and detached listening, when you're actually listening to hear, to understand what a person is saying, and not simply to respond, and not simply waiting for your turn to speak. Actively listen. Call it active listening. Actively listen to what the person is saying beyond just words. Think of how many times and how many things throughout your life or conversations you've had with people that you were trying to express something and say something without fully saying it. Or whether you were aware of it and you were doing that intentionally, that you were just trying and hoping that the other person will hear what you're saying without you saying it. And other times you didn't even know what you were trying to say and express, so the other person also didn't get the point. So it's important to practice actively listening, or listening with intention or intent to hear what the other person's saying without your own agenda, without you waiting for your turn to speak. Because when you're waiting for your turn to speak, you're going to miss the point. You're not going to hear what the other person is actually saying because you're too self-centered in this moment. You're too focused on not forgetting what you want to say because you have some amazing, great points. And you do. You definitely do. But what's more important is for your partner to feel safe, secure, validated in their moment of vulnerability. And your job as a partner is to provide that intimacy so they can be themselves, so they can work through and process what's going on, and they can be available for you afterwards. And then you can say what you want to say. Because another question that I want to ask you is, how many times have you been through this where your partner was expressing something to you and you weren't fully listening because you were waiting for your turn to speak, and then you would say something, and maybe even before they were done speaking, and then they replied to you, you didn't hear what I was saying? Because sometimes they already answer and respond to what you want to say when they're communicating with you, but you're not hearing them because you're not fully listening. So give your partner the full attention without distractions. And this tiny gesture can feel huge, enormous, and it can make them feel heard and valued. You can also schedule time together, alone time together, to maybe you want to meditate together, maybe you want to go on the walk together, maybe you want to have a conversation together, have a date night. Maybe go back to that list and see what are the things that they would love to do, and you can be there with them doing that. Maybe your partner loves taking a bath, and you can make a bath for your partner and sit with them. It doesn't necessarily even have to be that you're in that same bath together, but be in the room together if this is the moment that they want to share. Find, maybe there's a practice that you want to do together. Maybe you want to start going to a class together, or there's so many different type of classes that you can go to. I can't even list them all, but maybe there's a dance class, singing class, yoga, exercise, fitness, art, an enormous form of art classes. Maybe once in a while you want to, as you're doing the date nights, have a different type of a date night. Do something that they enjoy doing, and they'll be much more likely and much more open to do something you want to do. You guys are not meant to be into the same things. How else are you supposed to grow together if you're into exactly the same things? You're meant to grow together because you're two different individuals coming together to build something amazing together. When they challenge you, when your partner challenges you, and they're meant to challenge you, take that on as an opportunity to accept that challenge and take it on. And not feel threatened, and not feel that you're not good enough, not doing enough. And this is why I recommend taking on the challenge that I'm challenging you on, and taking on the imposter banishing quest. Because by going through this quest, you will start to also not take these things personally, because they're not meant to be personal when you're being challenged by your partner. Practice compassionate communication. Be compassionate to what your partner is saying, how they're saying, what they're saying. Even if it's about someone you care about, don't take it personally. It's not about you. It's about how your partner is feeling, and they feel comfortable and safe enough to come and confide in you and share these things with you, even though they know that you have a relationship with that person. At the same time, don't allow that to affect the relationship that you have with that person or those persons, because they too are allowed to feel lost and confused and triggered by these people and these experiences in your life that is not meant to be about you. The sheer fact that they're coming and opening up to you, that means that you are their safe space. You are their haven. And they can come and talk to you, and they know that whatever they say about that person is not going to affect the relationship that you have with that person, because that is not what they want. for majority of people. But if this is something that they want, once again, red flags, look into that and pay attention and don't ignore the red flags. If you ignore the red light on the road, you know the consequences, the potential disasters that can follow. Red flags are no different. That's why they're colored red. But most people, they're walking around waving a white flag. Even when they sound angry, upset, or irritated, and you feel like they're taking things out on you, it's not necessarily how things are. It's just they don't know any other way to express what's going on the inside. And you can help them by leading the way, by giving them the space, and by listening and hearing, actively listening. You can explore and try new things together. Do something new together. Maybe listen to a book together, up to a podcast together. Maybe listen to this podcast together. And you learn a thing or two and start applying what you learn. Do something different together. Maybe you want to start going on walks together and you haven't. Maybe you want to raise a puppy together and actually do it together. And take it on walks together. What is it that you want to do together that's new for both of you? For both of you. Be open about your needs and allow them and help them to be open about their needs. When it comes to these intimate relationships, that your love life, your love relationships and intimate relationships, reignite the physical part of those relationships. The physical connection is needed. Try something new. Try something different in a different space, in a different setting, and explore what, if you talk about it, explore and talk about what you like, what he likes, and how can you try something new. That's another new thing that you can do. Even just having conversations might be a new thing that both of you guys try and do. Simply being present during these intimate moments is going to be helpful as well. A hug is an intimate interaction as well. Support each other on your individual personal development and personal growth journeys. This one is massive as well. This one ties into what I was saying in the beginning. You want to improve any area of your life, any relationship, you got to work on yourself. You got to invest in yourself. Sometimes it will mean money. Sometimes it will mean time. And all the time it will mean energy. Your own energy that you would spend learning something and applying what you've learned. It's important to do those things. Invest in yourself. Invest in your personal development and in your personal growth. And help your partner to do the same. Don't force them. They gotta choose this on their own. Help your partner to do the same and support them on their journey. It is not going to look the same as yours. It's not. If you choose to go through courses and programs online, for your partner, it might be listening to podcasts or going to therapy and not working with a coach or working with an entirely different coach. You're not meant to be doing the same things. For them, it might also mean going to signing up for the gym, for example, and doing some physical exercise and having a personal trainer. Whereas for you, you get a life coach. Maybe for you work with me. But for them, they're not going to want to work with me. They're going to want to work with someone else. So support your partner's personal growth and personal development journey and encourage them Encourage them to follow their dreams, their ambitions, their goals, and do it on their own terms and in their own way, and not just yours. Encourage their personal growth, encourage their personal development. Maybe share what you learn and they will share what they learn. Maybe you want to do this once a week or once a day, where you talk about what you learned today and what they learned today, and share that together and learn from one another. They're not meant to be exactly the same. Some things might be the same. Yes, you might be listening to the same books, to the same podcasts, to the same videos, to the same lessons, but in the end, you're still going to take it in a different way. You're going to have a different interpretation, different understanding, even from the same lesson. Growing individually allows you both to bring the best versions of yourself into the relationship. How amazing would that be? So, by focusing on the emotional connection, your shared experiences, and mutual respect, you can nurture a relationship into the one that will be a thriving one, and thrives on intimacy, trust, and love, and safety, and openness, and honesty. So that is all that I have for you, all beautiful unicorns, today. I hope you enjoyed today's Get Your Shit Together weekly live guidance with myself, Yana Kasperczak. And if you really, really, really enjoyed it, and you know that somebody else can enjoy it and learn and benefit from this podcast today, and then share it with those that you know can benefit from it. If you're listening to this podcast on a different platform, then I encourage you to come and check out this Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn: Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women, and see if this is the safe haven and a tribe that you have been looking for that can help you on your healing and spiritual growth journey. Or also, if you're listening to this podcast on a different platform, share the platform directly as well, the actual podcast from the platform that you're listening to. And if you have women who can benefit from this podcast as well, and they're not in this group, invite them to this group. Help your women friends by sharing this community with them. And if they don't want to stay here, then it's not meant to be for them. All you can do is you can share. It's like you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But by sharing what has been helping you, what is helping you, what tips and tricks you're picking up, by sharing these things, you're showing that you care. Sharing is caring. And at the same time, you're giving them the opportunity to choose for themselves. And then you can have a conversation about it as well. And that can become an intimate relationship for you. We're not meant to have just one intimate relationship. We're meant to have many, 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 many intimate relationships. The relationships I have with every woman that I work with is an intimate relationship. A very intimate relationships. The things that they talk to me and share with me are not the things that they share and talk about with too many or any other people. And they're not meant to. We're not meant to share exactly the same things that we're sharing with our coach, with our therapist, with our friend, with this friend, with that friend. We share different things. Our intimate relationships, each and every one of them is different. And they're meant to be. And we can grow and thrive in each and every one of them. Kitty says, thank you so much. Oh, thank you for being on here as well. And you're very welcome. It is my pleasure. I absolutely love, that's why I say it's my soul's purpose to help women get their shit together. Because I know firsthand what it's like to live life feeling like it is a total and utter chaos, not knowing who I am, what I want, or why I'm even here, and just pure suffering when I was trapped in my own mental prison. This is why I do what I do, because I know what it's like being there. And now I'm on the outside of this mental prison, helping you, helping all of you women, ladies, to become the outsider of your own mental prison. So you see things much more clearly and you're no longer trapped in your own mind and in your own body. And that's what helps to live a life that is full of obsessions. Feeling obsessed with my life, it has been and had been one of my goals that I had achieved a while back, and I will continue to find new obsessions in my life and for myself and for the people in my life as well. So that's it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kitty says, I shared with my mom. Hello, Kitty's mom. Hope you enjoyed this one and took some notes and applied what you have learned. And I would love to hear from all of you. What was your biggest takeaway? Like, after you have heard everything I said, what is the one thing that is spinning in your mind? What is spinning your wheels in your head? I would love to hear what that is. And after you share what that is, I would also love to hear, what are you going to do? What action, what steps are you going to take to put that into motion? Whatever it is that's spinning. There's always going to be something that you can do. So what are you going to do? Kitty says, I appreciate today. I want to try to listen better. So what are you going to do to improve your active listening skills? If you're open to recommendations, I would recommend going to this Facebook group and typing in active listening, and I can guarantee you will find at least one video, one lesson, one podcast on this topic. Because I know I've done at least one, if not a few. So highly recommend listening and tuning into that one as well. And then applying what you have learned today about active listening. And what did you learn today about active listening that you can start applying? I'd love to hear that as well. Anyways, thank you, everybody, for being on here. Thank you for all of you beautiful ladies who have been commenting as well and sharing this video with those that you know can benefit from it. And until we see each other next Thursday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time-ish, or maybe we'll see each other on Monday for our weekly live card reading that I do in this group on Mondays at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time. And until next time, bye everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day and amazing the rest of your week.